like you're living a good life, but you just don't have it together? Welcome back to the Just Jana Show. I'm Jana Stern, and today we're going to talk about the things that are out of alignment for you that you are unconsciously creating for yourself. If, as you listen, you're thinking, okay, Jana, but how do I fix it? Check the links in the episode notes, and one of them will take you to a quiz that will help you to assess which of the archetypes you are living as that is keeping you out of alignment with yourself. Stop and think to yourself for a moment. Do you treat yourself like the gem of your life? I'm not talking about the diamond, the one that comes from the blood mine, cut perfectly for the perfect wedding that happened with the perfect man. I'm talking about the rare gem, the one that comes from a beautiful, rare, and remote place on earth, dug by loving hands that can't be duplicated, the one that is truly precious? Do you treat your life like it is a one-of-a-kind miracle? How could anybody feel good being just a diamond, something cut to look like everything else, over-marketed, oversold, performing as something, and not really being all that special? Not to knock on your diamond, I'm sure you love your ring, but what I'm trying to say is we know we've been kind of sold a story, and the story is the thing that keeps us trapped, isn't it? The stories that we tell ourselves that we need it to look a particular way, to behave a particular way, to perform in a way that feels good to the system, feels good to the conditioning, but not to ourselves, not to our soul. A lot of people ask me, how did I get to be so chutzpahdik? How is it that I operate in the world being just Jana so relentlessly, so unapologetically, without really filtering myself? And even though sometimes it has repercussions, the answer is simple. I treat myself like a gem, the rarest kind, from the most beautiful parts of the planet. And I operate that way because I've learned that my gift, my intuition, and the things that are true for me don't come through in a cookie cutter way. They don't fit in the box. And I was never meant to be in there. I tried for many years to fit into the box, to get the right corporate job, to date the right kind of man, to have the right kinds of relationships, and to follow along what everybody else was doing. But really, I felt so out of alignment, so deeply like I was betraying myself on a soul level that eventually it led to me literally trying to kill myself, pretending that the stories that other people were projecting onto me was comfortable was something that actually led me to being so out of alignment with who I am that I was blocking my gifts, blocking all the things that make me me, and creating real chaos in my mind such that everything within and without felt disconnected. It was like my life from the outside looked like I had it together. I had a good job. I was dating a man. I got a dog. Everything seemed like it was going well. But really on the inside, I was so far out of alignment with who I really am that I couldn't cope with it. I couldn't live with myself. I didn't have it together, really. I'd forgotten that I was rare, that I was special, that I was unique, that I was different, that there were things about me that were so majestic, so magnificent, so shiny and sparkly that I couldn't dull myself to fit into the cookie cutter world that was being presented to me as the path. If I'm honest, I never really had it together. I was always erratic, always chaotic. I was always loud and quick to anger. I would say things that other people wouldn't understand. And perhaps once upon a time, people would have diagnosed me on the spectrum. But because that spectrum was untended, I escalated. And so my mind, the frequency of what was happening in my head and the reality around me was so disconnected that the diagnoses became actually far more severe. And even though I knew they didn't resonate, the pathology and the labels got so intense that there was sort of no way to escape it in this dimension, in that life that I was living. So of course, the only way I could escape the dimension was to literally escape it. We are all looking for the thing that's going to solve it for us. We're looking for the right relationship, the kid that's going to solve it, the job that's going to answer our prayers. We're looking for the connection, the friendship, the conversation. We're looking for the vacation, the moment, the one thing that's going to make it all better. But there is no quick fix. There is no pull shoot. There is no one answer. Because the truth is that all of us are not cookie cutter diamonds. We are variable. We are all very different with different sheens, different elements, different ideas, different parts of ourselves. And what's imperative is that we learn to live in a life where we work with the element of who we are. Each of us have come into this lifetime with a birth chart expressing different elements, our fire, our water, our earth, our air, and learning to work with those different parts of our charts, how they are expressed, how they show up, and why we came to be what we are, how we are, who we are, is the purpose of this existence. You feel like you're not enough because the conditioning says so, not because it's true. There is not a single crystal behind me or on this planet that is imperfect. Every single one with its different elements, with its different colors, different expressions, inclusions, and different parts of it that has been affected by the heat, the cold, the movements of our planet, has made the most perfect crystalline being, and you are no different. Your energy is a crystalline being. You are a crystal. You are a gem. It is time to start acting like it. Time to stop trying to be something that has been cut and polished and perfect, and instead let yourself be raw and beautiful and express all the different versions of who you came here to be. Learning to make choices and to trust yourself often leads to hard things. Sometimes that looks like breakups or having to quit a job that you know is just stealing your soul from you. Sometimes it looks like an ego death or even something that we call the dark night of the soul. But it is so empowering to make these choices that break you free of the boxes that have been containing your soul, the things that make your life look like it's a good life, but not really a soul-fulfilling one on the inside. Letting yourself stretch beyond the conditioning of this system is actually the thing that leads you to a life that feels good, to one that feels aligned and fulfilling, to one that makes you feel like you actually do have it all together, even when things are falling apart. We all make choices, and in my lifetime, I have made many. I have looked men whom I love dearly in the face and acknowledged that this is not the relationship for me. I had to move beyond what I thought life should look like, and instead walked away and rebuilt myself over and over and over in my lifetime. And even though there is challenge to it, there has also been a kind of freedom that has allowed me the life that I live now. One where every decision I make is in alignment with the self that I want to be. One where I feel like I actually have choice and the capacity to do as I please, when I please, because I know what pleases me, and not in a surface way, on the deeper level. We all have choices, and there are plenty of things that you can do that would help you to step back into alignment. Recognize that not every choice has to be a big one. You don't need to break up a relationship tomorrow or blow up your whole life, although maybe that might be the answer. You could just make choices to set new boundaries, perhaps to ask for things that you are actually feeling are non-negotiables that you've been negotiating about, to stop asking for permission, to stop experiencing yourself as somebody who can't when you know damn well that you can. Things do not need to look the way that they have been conditioned in your mind. We can break up with people that we love and keep them in our lives as friends, and we can break up with people in our lives who we thought were friends and still have love and respect for them. We can quit jobs and move cross country. We can make choices that are challenging, and we can let it be different than the thing we've been told is the right thing. The way that someone else told you it should be is the recipe for misery that is keeping you stuck. So this is your permission slip. You do not have to live that life. You can always make choices, big ones or small ones, that liberate you into a life that feels aligned, playful, fun, and free. I hope you know that you could make any decision that you want for your life, and you can make that decision today. Becoming exactly who you are is the point. I'm Just Jana, and I hope that today you feel like you can be a little bit more of just who you are. Thanks for watching. You've just listened to the Just Jana Show. Whether you sat with me through a live reading or just let me talk my shit to camera, I hope something I called out landed for you. Share with me the one thing that shifted or a question you've got in the comments, or send this episode to someone who deserves to stop shrinking their light. If you're enjoying this kind of energetic reprogramming, please like and subscribe. If you want me to read beneath the surface of your life, apply to be a guest and get a live on-air reading at the link in the show notes. I'm Just Jana, and I'll see you next time.